Hey everybody, this is Jay Pryor with the Gender Reveal Party. As per usual, I do my best to keep you informed, and I know I'm not, always completely precise in my language sometimes, and the young activists don't like me because of that. But I do my best to keep up. And one of the things that's changed, and this is old, it changed like probably last year. I mean, it's 20, we're in 2021, and so the list of what some people like to call the alphabet soup or whatever it is that you want to call the LGBTQIA plus when referring to the queers has changed a little bit. And I want to keep on top of that for me and for you. And how this came about is I was at a training and a young person was training. And instead of the LGBTQIA plus, she listed 2SLGBTQIA. Now I've known about Two Spirit people forever, and I don't know why I didn't think about putting that in there, but I didn't. And so I want to review for you now, redo this video of the alphabet with the updated version. My old video is gone. We're going to replace it with this one, and the updated version, again, it's just so 2019. So, or this is the updated version. That's the 2019. So I'm going to share my screen with you really quick, see if we can figure this out. All right, here we go. Share that. Hopefully put us in present mode. If we can, this is part of the problem. There we go. Now we should be good. Okay, so nowadays we want to say 2S LGBTQIA, and there should be a plus here, but I'm going to review this for you really quick so that you understand what these are. So here we go. The 2S is Two Spirit. So someone who is a Two Spirit person is an indigenous person, meaning that this is person, well, meaning you know what an indigenous person is. But my point is that I could be like someone could call me a Two Spirit in the sense that I'm a non-binary human. So a Two Spirit person is someone who's a non-binary person or a trans person who identifies themselves as both or neither, or like they have two spirits. So for indigenous people, so it's people like me, but who are people who are native. So I would never call myself Two Spirit because that's a term that is specific to indigenous people. So Two Spirit goes first, and I'm so glad that we put them first because they should be first. Sometimes you'll see, as far as I'm concerned, sometimes you'll see the letters spelled out LGBTQIA 2 plus. So you could see, or 2S plus, you could see that, but I put it in the beginning. So Two Spirit are non-binary humans who are indigenous people, and they identify themselves as Two Spirit, and the only people that do that are indigenous folks. Then we have your lesbians. We've talked about that before. G is for the gay, B is for the bisexual, Q. For Q, you have queer, and if you're talking about youth, you might have questioning. So in the youth programs, in the elementary schools and the middle schools, often they use the word Q. The Q stands for questioning, because when you're 10, you might be questioning, right? I mean, that's how it goes. So for the youth, when I'm working with trans youth, I often see the Q be brought up as questioning. For the rest of us, it's queer. Transgender, someone who's transgender is someone who does not identify with the sex that they were assigned at birth and has done something about that usually. So a trans man is someone who was assigned female at birth and has decided to transition, and they've taken hormones or they're walking through the world as a man, and they are trans men. Someone who is a trans woman who was assigned male at birth or man at birth or boy at birth, doesn't relate to that, then they are, and they have done something about it. They're walking through the world as a woman. So transgender person is someone who does not identify with their sex assigned at birth and has done something about that. They may not even be on hormones, but they can still identify as a transgender human if that's how they identify. But it's what's most important to understand is that someone who's a trans man, even though they were assigned female at birth, they are a man, and a trans woman is a woman. Our gender is way more about what's between our ears than between our legs. And that's so important for you all to get. The second one is intersex. 1.7% of the population is born intersex. This population of people, in my opinion, is very underrepresented in the world, and we don't talk about them. We act like they don't exist. I have had many people be very angry at me when I say that gender is fluid and there's all kinds of people. There are people who would say there are just boys and girls, men and women. They're very loud about it also. That's not true. These people who are intersex, there's over 30 different varieties of expression in either genitalia or chromosomes that can show up in a human. And many people maybe are walking around intersex and they don't even know it. So these people exist, and the people who do know it and who have been born that way, and maybe even had, unfortunately, someone made a decision and they had surgeries on them, may have put them in the wrong body, right? So these people exist, and we want to honor them. And my goal is to get to a world where an intersex baby is just as celebrated as a male baby or a female baby. I mean, so if you are, wouldn't it be crazy if we had this world where we celebrated babies, like all babies? It didn't matter whether they were intersex, whether they're born with penis, born with vagina, born with both, born with testes, ovaries, doesn't matter. Like, wouldn't it be amazing if we were a world that just celebrated all babies? That's my goal. So intersex humans exist, and my goal is to honor them and love them just as everybody else. Next is allies are asexual. I think that used to be allies, and nowadays it's asexual. So sometimes an A will be in there that's an ally, but right now I think that asexual is pretty much ruling the day in terms of where we're coming with the alphabet. So asexual, it's not complicated. You can understand having sex without love. So please understand that some people love and love deeply and are partnered and with people for a long, long time. And that doesn't mean that they're sexual, right? They may be asexual. There are people who are asexual, and that doesn't mean that they don't love people. It doesn't mean that they're not affectionate. It just means that they're asexual. And again, those people exist. And so we want to, really honor them and include them. And part of the whole point, people get frustrated with this whole list, right? The 2SLGBTQIA, and then we add the plus in there, and the plus is just like anything else. And for some reason, it makes some of you angry about that. And what I would say is that, yeah, we're going to keep adding letters until everybody's included. And if you ask me, we'd love to just say queer and have that be like, an umbrella term. And for some of us, it is. And there's still too much pain and stigma for some of our queer folks in the world to get a hold of that yet. So we're going to just keep going to SLGBTQIA plus and any other letter that happens to come in there so that we can include everybody. Our whole job here is to be inclusive. So that's pretty much the whole shebang there. I just wanted to go through that with you, and I will stop sharing my screen now and get back to you if I can. There you go. I can see me. I don't know if you can or not. So anyway, thank you for joining me at the gender reveal party. I hope you're perusing more videos. We come out with a new video every week where we're interviewing another human that has an experience and walks through the world as an other or something different than the binary, or even if they are cisgender people that we interview, they're people who have something powerful to say about gender or an insight about gender. So I hope you'll come back to the gender reveal party often and watch more videos. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day.